ge, which is circled right here. It's a preposition, or it can be a preposition. In its basic meaning, it's a verb meaning to give, but it's also a preposition. And prepositions are interesting. They can be difficult in a way. They're simple in one way. It's like it's not saying give this to me. So to me is a preposition, right? A prepositional phrase. So in some ways it can be easy, but the thing is that it can be tough because the same preposition combined with different verbs can mean slightly different things sometimes. And different verbs might choose different prepositions to express the same idea. To make matters worse, prepositions don't always translate well from one language to another. The good news is that, like in everything in language, you learn patterns and phrases, and it all becomes more natural as you go along. So let's take a look at this preposition, and in the next segment we're going to also talk about another preposition. This one is super common. It's ge. It means give, but as a preposition, it usually means doing a verb for someone or for something, or to someone or to something. The prepositional phrase usually comes before the verb. That's a general statement, not just about ge. Prepositional phrases tend to come before the verb. It's almost like an adjective. It's not an adjective, but it kind of has that sense of like you're telling, the purpose of something or the direction of something, or a prepositional phrase about how the verb is happening. But there are certain cases where prepositional phrases come after the verb, and which we'll go over some cases with ge in a minute. But let's first learn the basic way, the most common way. Let's jump into a couple of examples here. 我给妈妈. Okay, so I give mama. So here, I want to, right away, this actually does translate into English as it could be give, because the phrase is to give someone a phone call. So in English we say give someone a phone call. But that verb, give someone a phone call, in Chinese is actually da. So it means to dial a phone, right? So the phrase without the preposition, the sentence without the prepositional phrase is 我打了一个电话. I called a phone call. But who did I call? 我给妈妈打了一个电话. Now if we literally translate this thing, it would sound like this. I give mama dial a call. Does that make sense? But it's not really, it's not really give. It's more like, it's just, when you want to make a phone call, if you're talking about who you made the phone call to, you use the prepositional ge. I don't even know that it translates to give exactly. But you can, because it's convenient, because in English you can say give a phone call. But anyway, I, for mama, to mama, give mama, dial a phone call. That's what it is. So that there's one. So da, this is kind of like you just learn the pattern. You know that if you're going to give a phone call to somebody, the to somebody is ge somebody, and then da 电话. Okay, so here we go. Another one. 你可以给我做饭吗? 做饭 means to make food. So what do you think this is? It's a question. 你可以给我做饭吗? Can you make food for me? Can you cook for me? So here it's for, like the ge has in English it would be translated for. Can you do something for me? Here's another one that's similar to the for idea, but not exactly the same. And let me show you why. 我要给孩子洗澡. Okay, so I want to, or I will, 给孩子, give child bath. Now, it actually means give child bathe, not bath, because it's not a noun. It is a noun, it is a verb plus noun, but basically it means bathe. So, the thing here is this, it's another case in English where you say, I give somebody a bath, and it's convenient because it has the word give in it, and we have a ge here, but actually this is not give. It's like I, to someone, bathe. And so it's like, it doesn't mean for. It's like not that I am bathing for the child in place of the child. It's that I am giving the child a bath. So it's like I am to the person bathing, something like that. But it's just kind of like this preposition combines with this verb to mean that. And so there's a lot of that in with prepositions where you sort of have to just know that when a certain preposition and a certain verb combine, it means a certain thing. And it doesn't always, in each of these phrases, if we're going to dissect them, we might say that the gay has a slightly different feel or meaning in each one, but they're all used to express a meaning that's clearly understood. So there's some examples of how to use gay to mean for someone, or this one is the clearest one that means for someone. This one means to somebody. I'm going to make a phone call to that person. And this means kind of like I'm going to do something to somebody. I'm going to give them a bath. Okay, so I said that the majority of verb, in the majority of cases, the gay something, the gay, what do you call that, prepositional object, that phrase, the prepositional phrase is going to come before the verb. But in some cases, it comes after. I want to talk about that now. There are certain verbs that like to have the gay come after. Let me give you some examples. 这是送给我的吗? So is this 送给? 送 means to send, or in this case it means to give, as in the sense of giving a gift. It's not like give me a pen so I can use it. It means like to give a gift so I will keep it, right? 这是送给我的吗? And so now we have a 送给. Who? Who are we giving it to? This person. So that it kind of like combines, and actually I read that, I think it was Onset Learning, Allset Learning, that you can actually debate whether this gay is a prepositional phrase or a complement to the verb, giving you like the gay would be a complement to the verb. But for our purposes, it doesn't really matter, right? We don't need to analyze it to that level. It's just that 送 likes to have the gay come after it. So it's like 送给我的吗? So is this something that you're giving me as a gift? 这是送给我的吗? Let me give another example. 这本书, this book, 是谁借给你的? This is from Allset Learning. 这本书是谁借给你的? It means this book is who lent to you. So here we have the 是的 construction because it's asking a clarifying question. We know that someone lent it to you, but we don't know who, so we're asking the who question. 这本书是谁借给你? So here we have the 借 verb meaning to lend, and then we have the 给 meaning like lend to somebody. And so 借 likes to have the 给 after it. There are other verbs like that. I can give you another list. There's 发. 发, I've heard it before or after. There's 递, which means to hand somebody to something, like hand me the chopsticks. So that would be, 递给我, hand it to me. 借 borrow. 嫁给 means to, when a woman gets married to a man, you can use that. It's specific to a woman. 嫁给. So she's going to marry to whom, or she's going to be given to whom. It's kind of like that idea, given, almost like sent or given to somebody. 嫁给. And then we have 卖, to sell something to somebody. 卖给我. So all of these things. And then I want to point out one more thing, which it's okay if you don't fully get this yet. I'll show you here in this last black sentence here. There is a structure called the ba structure that we go over in detail early on in HSK 3. But I'll mention it briefly here because it works well with this verb gay structure where the gay comes after the verb. So it's 他, here it is, 把, 他已经, he already, 把. So what 把 does is it's like a marker that the thing that comes directly after it is the object of the verb, but it moves the object to before the verb. And then something has to come after the verb as well. So it kind of changes the order of the sentence and makes it like instead of being a subject verb object, it's a subject object verb sentence. So it's kind of like he already took the email. In essence, it's kind of like took the email. This is 邮件 means email. 发 sent to boss 了. 了 goes with 已经 because it's saying it already happened. So the this 邮件 email is the object of sending, but who did it get sent to? 发给老板. So it just works well. So you might see 把 in this like verb plus 给 rather than 给 prepositional phrase plus verb structure. So that's a lot there. It's okay if you don't fully get it. The main thing from this video is for you to understand the prepositional phrases using 给. And so yeah, give it a shot. Do your exercises. It's okay if you choose the wrong verb. Just try to get the idea. You could use these as a launching point to like slightly different ideas. Instead of bathing, it could be, it could be something else like that you make the child do. So anyway, there's ways you can kind of launch off of these sentences or other examples I gave. So there you go. In the next video, we're going to talk about 对. Hey, now we're going to talk about 对. Now you should recognize 对 as a character meaning correct, as a word meaning correct. But actually, its most basic function, it isn't correct. That's just one of its uses. It just happens to be very common and something that people tend to learn early. It really means across from or facing or opposites or halves. So if you kind of think of like two things across from each other, like across a table or across a street, facing one another, that's kind of the basic meaning of 对. And as a preposition, it tends to mean to or toward. This is much more limited, it's used with much fewer verbs than 给. 给 is very broad. It can be used with lots of different verbs, and this can be used with a decent amount, but it's just more limited than 给. All right, so let me give you a couple examples. These are all from All Set Learning, actually. 宝宝对我笑了. 宝宝 means baby. 宝宝对我笑了. 笑 means to smile. So what do you think that means? The baby smiled at me, to me, toward me. The baby smiled. So now we know 对 and 笑 can be used together to smile towards someone or to give someone a smile. 宝宝对我笑了. Here we have 对 used with 说. Now you may remember earlier, I believe, unless it's an HSK 3, 说 can be paired with 跟. It's very common. So 跟 means with, which I don't even remember if we've gone over with yet. But the 跟 is often like 跟 somebody 说. But 对 跟 means with, so that the sense is more of like a back and forth, where 对 is more like the one person is talking to another. Now that doesn't mean that there was no back and forth. It's just the focus is more on what someone said to somebody as opposed to a conversation going back and forth. That line is not very clear. It's just, it feels like that to me. 你不应该这样对父母说话. This is from All Set Learning as well. So 不应该 means you should not. 你不应该这样, like this, or in this way. 对父母, toward your parents, or to your parents, 说话. You should not talk to your parents like that, or like this. That's what that means. But the phrase is 对父母说话. That's the main thing I'm teaching you there. And so 对 can be used with 笑, can be used with 说, and some other verbs too. There's another way that 对, there's two other ways I'm going to mention, one that's on the board, that 对 shows up in certain kinds of phrases. So there's this 对, this is pointed out by All Set Learning. I didn't know this before. I just want to, as always, give credit where credit is due. When I take something directly from All Set Learning, I try to give them credit for it. 对 person 来说. So 来说, it means, let me see if I can translate this. In English, we usually just say to a person. Like, to me, this is not a good idea. Or about me, or in my opinion, something along those lines. So if we want to say 对 somebody 来说, it has to do with it's like saying to that person or about that person, and then we make a comment. So it's like it has sort of like a to me, math is really boring, or or taking a math class is probably not a good idea. Let's go with that one. 对我来说 taking a math class is a bad idea. You get it? 对那个人来说 to that person 来说 blah 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 or 什么什么什么什么什么. Okay, so that's that phrase. It's good to know because I think that in some cases you could drop off the 来说 and still communicate the same idea. You know, just start off the sentence with 对我 to me. But this is very clear about like it has to do with that like in my opinion or for me this is something is good or is not good or whatever. And then finally there's a list. I haven't put them on the board, but there's a list of certain adjectives / verbs that that can be, you can have like a 对 something and then a psychological verb. For example, 对 something 感兴趣. What does 感兴趣means? It means to be interested in. So 对 something 感兴趣 means to be interested in that thing. Or you can have 有兴趣. That is also, it's very similar. It basically means the same thing. To have interest in something. 感兴趣 maybe means to feel interest in something. 有兴趣 means to, like, you could say that thing is very 对我有兴趣. No, excuse me. If y'all want to say I have interest in something or I like, you know, 我对象棋有兴趣. I have interest in chess. 对 something 满意. 满意 means to be satisfied. So 对 that thing 满意. So I could say 我对 this meal 满意. Am satisfied. So this meal was satisfying to me. 失望 is disappointed. So 对 something 失望. I was disappointed in this class. You could say 对负责. That means 负责 means to be responsible. So 对 something 负责 means to be responsible for that person. So notice we're not using something that means for. It's 对. So that's, you know, different things, you know, like it doesn't always directly translate. And then 对 好奇. 好奇 means to be curious about something. So you can be 对 something 好奇. 我对象棋好奇. There we go. That's fun. That means to be curious about chess. So there we have it. That is, we had 给 and now we have 对. Keep up the good work. Next video is a review video for the week, and then we go into our last week of HSK2.